What's up, guys? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. Today we're going to be diving into some Woodford's Reserve Distillery series. Now I got two of them. Now the first one is going to be this Woodford's Reserve Chocolate Whisper Redux. This is going to be the highest proof that Woodford's has ever released, coming in at 139.4 proof. This one's a heater. The highest proof they ever released. I had to get my hands on it. Obviously, with it being a distillery series release, I had to look far and wide, call some people up, maybe do an online order or two. But at the end of the day, I got it. MSRP for this one is going to be coming in right at $100. A little pricey for a 375 milliliter, but I think the proof is what's trying to sell it here. So let's go ahead and dive into this first one, and then we'll break down the second one over here. All right, obviously you guys know we got to test it. I'm just saying, a little cork pop goes a long way. But you know how we do here. We got to test out the nose, test out the palate, then obviously I'll let you know how the finish goes. But me, I'm a big Woodford's fanboy. That's just how it is. I love all the double oaks. I love the standard Woodfords. Kind of everything they put out, I'm okay with. I can do without the 90.4 proof stuff, besides the double oak. But this higher proof stuff got me going. I love my batch proof back there. I have a feeling I like this one, but the question is the chocolate going to be too much? Because I see a lot of other people's comments on this bottle is saying it's too sweet and it has weird finish. So I'm not going to let that get into my head too much. I'm going to go ahead and dive in here. Let's see what's working with on the nose. Now the mash bill on this is going to be 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. But I can already tell right on that first little nose hit, it is this traditional Woodford smell. It just feels like you guys know. Woodford's has just that Woodford smell. That's how I can explain to it right off the bat. Now, as far as the notes go, to be honest, for being almost 140 proof, there's absolutely no ethanol in this. I'll be surprised if I taste it and it has any kind of giddy up to it, because there's absolutely no ethanol. Big fan of that though, but you get a ton of like that dried cherries that you typically get with Woodford's. There is some chocolate notes in there, but I will say it's not anything more than I normally get from like the traditional double oak. I was expecting it to kind of punch me in the face with like a chocolate covered strawberry feel, but you get a little bit of that plum action, definitely some oak. The sweetness is kind of middle range, right? I'd say it's got some caramel and some vanilla, like the traditional stuff, but it's not like punch you in the face, right? So far the nose, it's not bad, but it kind of just feels like normal Woodford's right now. Let's go in for the palate. I'll let you know what that's working with, and hopefully it's better than the nose, because the nose is just pretty basic. Cheers. Wow. It had some giddy up. I wasn't prepared. The nose makes it so, you underestimate it a lot when you go in for the palate, because the nose has no ethanol, not a lot going on as far as like anything that punches in the face. It's all kind of blends really well together. That palate was kind of shocking, right? This is my first taste of this, so like all of this is just raw reaction. That was kind of shocking. It absolutely just blasted my palate as far as my taste buds go. So let's go in for a second sip, and that way I can try to pull out some tasting notes. Cheers. It's so good though. It is so good. There's so much going on with it. I get some like candied pecans, some definitely like some dried cherries, but it feels like a dried cherry that's been in an old-fashioned glass, right? Does that make sense? Like an old-fashioned cherry. I kind of get that note a lot, but I have a lot of old-fashions. The oak is like a good amount of oak, right? I'm not gonna say it's like double oak worthy, but it's getting up there as far as oak goes. Kind of right there, right in the upper lip on the top of the palate. You get this nice spice, whether if it's like a nutmeg or a cinnamon, something with some baking spice action, kind of kicking up some heat along with that proof. The proof is so good. Let's go into a final sip, and then I can kind of give you the final finish and my last little bits of thoughts here. The one thing I will say when it comes to these tasting notes here, this one, I feel like this Woodford's is a lot more complex than normal, because normally you get that chocolate note right on the front of the palate, and then it just, that sweetness kind of carries over the entire thing. For this one, the chocolate and a lot of that sweetness is more on the back end to the finish. There's definitely some chocolate. I wouldn't be like blown away with how much chocolate is, but it's there, and it's mainly on the finish, and it's really well balanced. I'd say finish is definitely on that medium to long side, but I think anything above 130 proof is gonna have a fairly long finish. It's not too heavy, not too spicy. This bottle's incredible, to be honest. Just first thoughts, one pour in, I highly approve of this bottle. If you can get it, if you can go up to the distillery now, pick it up for $100. It's kind of pricey for $375, but to kind of have like a special edition for Woodford's being their highest proof they released, yet almost 140 proof. I think this is kind of like, if you're a fan of Woodford's, you can't pass this up. This is a great bottle. The one thing that I did hear was some people said like the finish was maybe medicinal. I don't get that at all. If anything, the cherries was on the front of the palate on that first initial sip. This is a great pour. I don't see honestly anything wrong with it. It's got a good sweetness level, good spice level, proof's great. Yeah, this is a big pass for me as far as Woodford's go. I may have to pick up a second one of these just to have a little backup before you guys buy them all out. But again, if I didn't mention it before, this is their 2025 edition. They've had some other years where they've done similar releases, just nowhere near this high approved. So let me know your thoughts on this one. Let's dive into the second bottle we have. Normally we don't do reviews with two bottles. We're doing it today, and that's where we have the blended malt sherry cask finish for the 2024 edition. Now, obviously you guys know me and sherry finishes. We're kind of hit or miss, right? I like some, I hate others, but I'm a really big fan of Woodford, so I'm hoping by picking this one up, this one will be one of my favorite ones, because I do like my New Riff sherry finish. That one's got a little bit higher proof. Woodford's typically puts out at 90.4, and this is no different. But this one has a little bit extra. It's aged in 2 different sherry barrels. So let's go ahead and crack into this one. I'm just saying, maybe it's the 375 milliliter bottles, but these things have incredible cork pops. They're not synthetic either. These are real corks. I throw a big fit about those sometimes. So let's go ahead, dive into this one. Kind of same thing. I'll let you know my thoughts. I'll give you some tasting notes, but overall, we're gonna have a pour together. Cheers. Now I do want to preference this is a blended malt. So I could not find the mash bill in this. So if you guys know it, let me know down in the comments, because I couldn't find it. MSRP on this bottle though is around 65 bucks. 65 bucks for a 375 milliliter seems kind of pricey, but for the distillery series, a limited run, I think that's at least a fair price. Would I like it lower? Absolutely. But I understand it at least. Versus this one's like 100 bucks. 65, not bad. I'm okay with the price. As far as nose notes go, this one is instantly, you get that traditional kind of sherry finish feel to it. Still feels like Woodford's. Obviously it's Woodford's, but it has that traditional nose for Woodford's. But I think the biggest change as far as on the nose is I get a lot of like dried red fruit, plums, strawberry feel. I get maybe like a raspberry jam feel. It does feel like it's a little bit sweet. Again, no ethanol on this one, but it's only 90 proof, so I couldn't expect it to have much of anything. Maybe a little bit of orange. It feels like a fruit basket in here. Very fruity on the nose. Now I do get some oak on this, but it's nothing crazy. It's just like the normal Woodford's oak. Nothing too overpowering. If anything, I wish there was a little bit more. But on the nose, sweet, fruity, a little oaky. Let's dive into the palate. Man, maybe I'm too much of a fan of Woodford's, because this pour, first sip, great. I wish I had proof, but great. Let's go over another sip real quick. Yeah, kind of right away, same thing. You get a little bit of that sherry finish. It dries up your palate a little bit. Not the biggest fan of the drying portion. But as far as flavors go, I'm sticking with the nose. It translates really well. It's a lot of like fruit basket feel to it. It's got like some orange citrus vibes, has a little bit of that raspberry, maybe some dried fruit, like a dried plum or something along those lines. The oak is definitely a little bit more on the palate than it is the nose. There's no finish, right? There's absolutely no finish. It's quick, super quick. But overall, it tastes really well balanced as far as the sherry goes. I think maybe, me personally, for a sherry finished bottle, I think I like them a little bit sweeter than I would like a port finish. Sherry barrels typically are sweeter to me. I think that's why I gravitate towards the sherry a little bit more than I would a port finish. There might be a little bit of honey in there too. It's Honestly, a really well balanced pour. 65 bucks, I'd say it's worth it. Now, unlike the chocolate Redux one, I don't know if I'd pick up a second one of these. This one I probably wouldn't drink super fast because it's not my go-to, me personally. But if you're into the sherry finish or you're into wine and you're getting into whiskey, bourbon, this may be something that you'd want to pick up. Obviously kind of harder to get, but I know even Total Wine got a big batch of these at one point. So these are not as limited, but they're still limited. So overall, this one's a good pour. Don't know the mash bill, 65 bucks MSRP. If you see it, pick it up. I'm here for it. So question is what's your thoughts on Woodford's? And again, what's your thoughts on these two bottles? Obviously, in my opinion, if you had to choose one, you're going to the higher proof one just because the higher proof one's cooler, tastes better. That one's more of a shock to your palate. I don't think you drink this one all night, you're gonna be feeling it. But this one, this is a super easy sipper. Definitely just kind of something to start the night out with. But I feel like you gotta like that sherry finish to really get behind that bottle. So again, if you like reviews like this, make sure to subscribe. We do go live every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, except we skip a few nights every once in a while. But make sure you hit subscribe. We're on the road to 2,500 if we didn't already hit it by the time we posted this video. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you on the other side. Peace.